Yesterday, I did something that I haven't done for a very long time. I set up my microphone and prepared myself to record a song. And the result was a brutal, revealing 2-hour session that forced me to confront a key question that many musicians ask. Should I perfect the music before releasing it here on YouTube, or should I get it out, put the process out and learn along the way? And I was prompted by a shadow, a voice inside myself that I hadn't accounted for. And it was this: if I'm trying to document the renewal of my journey, then why am I not revealing more of what I'm actually up to here as I'm beavering away and trying to improve? And it struck me, whatever you're not doing reveals yourself back to you. And so the question I ask you is the same that I'm asking of myself. What exactly is it that you're so afraid of? As I set up the microphone, I knew why I hadn't done this for so long. It's the fear of being seen before one is actually ready. We're terrified of the troll, or worse, that this imperfect version will be dismissed as the definitive statement on our ability. I didn't know, let the self-recrimination and those questions linger for long. I guess I'm too long into the game to know that all that really matters is that you make your next definitive, bold next move. So I had one singular goal: to record one song as well as I could within my limitations in one take, and to release it in its naked state with no trickery. This was the acid test. My hope was twofold. First, to find out exactly where my playing is, because nothing reveals yourself like the mirror of recording itself. And second, to discover the intimate details of my voice and technique that just rehearsing kind of conceal. So to push this acid test further, I decided to video the song too, not for content, but to replicate the edge of playing before an audience, which is my eventual goal with this. So I played 10 full takes over 2 hours, and my blood was up and I felt a bit nervous, but all in all, the rehearsing I'd done did pay off and my technique more or less held. So that was a breakthrough, but there were definitely wobbly bars, clattered notes, dodgy phrases, and my fingers felt sometimes like they were going to fall off the edge of a cliff. That sort of what are fingers feeling in your life. But this, I think, is the gulf between an imagined perfect delivery and the utter entrapment that one can feel in the housing of one's human self. And I think it's exactly in this space in between where the comparison trap can get you, because you're comparing your raw reality to the finished, perfected work of everything else that you see online. So for me, the song that I was doing, Waiting for the Gods, is challenging. I felt while playing inside the lyrics, but the physical delivery was somehow grating. But I felt inside it in some levels, though my throat was a bit torn, and sometimes the body is just grating against its own scars, if you like. But in the heart of this raw struggle is where we confront the question: should we put out this rough and raw version, or wait for some idealized version of whatever it is we're trying to do? And I think it's this sort of very space that reveals back to you the answers that have been hovering around in your head. So after 10 takes, I felt like the work was beginning to seep in. My fingers were getting more fluent, but my wrist was knackered and my voice was shot, so it wasn't getting better. So I decided on take 8, though it was imperfect, and I just felt like it was the closest to transporting the spirit of the song. And so I then faced the question: share this version as a documentation, or wait for another month to progress further and do it better? A definitive version, or its version as it exists today? So I've been trying to document the building of my musical life as transparently as possible. But transparency eventually leads you back to the most naked version of yourself. What we discover before reaching our potential is the very devil that we most wanted to avoid. If you like, he is the gatekeeper. And the paradox is this: he, the devil, is simply a mirror. He mirrors you back to you. Getting better at what you do means you have to crack open, break, and build upon your current self. And a creative response to what I'd recorded, or whatever you've recorded, it's not disappointment, it's to say, Roger that, that's where I'm at. this is where I'm at today. I have new data. That graph there is your graph of improvement. It reveals yourself back to you. But the improvement is the devil itself. And you must confront him and his mirror and walk into it. It's there that the raw and living potential that is yours and yours alone lives. So guys, what did I decide to do with Take 8? What does it mean for you? If you're struggling with the paralysis of perfectionism, I'm going to offer you 3 actionable takeaways that I've taken from this most recent chapter. First, document, don't create. Your mission is transparency, not perfectionism. You have to release the process, especially in the absence of outside support. My actionable advice is just what I'm going through myself, to record weekly sessions and just commit to releasing 60 seconds, no matter how flawed. Second, redefine the word release. Like, YouTube is about connection and it is about consistency, not just the final masters. So I think that your work in progress it's more about giving an update on your skill. And for me, if I'm feeling insecure about something, I'm just going to use the power of clear titling for rough content. So you might see a lot more of rehearsal or one take or a test or where I'm at, and hopefully that will bring you guys more into the process. Third, embrace the devil as data. Every mistake is a valuable data point on your graph of improvement. The actionable step here is to immediately write down 3 things that were surprisingly good after a session, and the 3 things that you know you can work on next time. So for me, though this is raw and new, I'm landing wholeheartedly on bringing my small but wonderfully encouraging audience in behind the scenes. I think it's the right bet to make in this changing musical landscape. And my answer to the question of if we should try to perfect or show the process is clear at this stage. If your goal is growth, community and momentum, the process must walk with you. I've made my choice and I'm inviting you to make yours. Guys, thanks so much for being here. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and follow along the journey as I try to get all these new songs and this new album out into the world and get down to the business of getting better. Big love, everyone. Cheers.